massive. All right, so before we get all of you out in the gym, jumping on barbells, deadlifting your maxes, we need to just run through just a little checklist to make sure you're in the position to go do that first. Where I like to start with that is just looking at the joint considerations of the lift. So if Jess sets up in the conventional stance, because conventional is better, when we have a look through this setup, we can start to see where the load's going to go and what concerns we might have. Obviously, compared to the squats, there's not a lot of demand on the ankle, so we don't need to stress about that too much. Not a lot really happening through the knee either, so not too much considerations for that, should be fairly safe, but there's a lot happening through the hip and through the lower back. Obviously, a lot of the load's going to be centered through here, and we're going to need to have the strength and the coordination in place to be able to manage all of this really well when that load comes up on the barbell. So if we do have any hip issues or lower back issues or anything like that, worth getting those addressed before we jump on the barbell. There's one other one that a lot of people forget, which is up in the shoulders. So obviously we need to be able to just have control of the shoulder blade and the shoulder itself, being able to activate lats and all that kind of stuff. But as we get heavier and heavier in the deadlift, one thing we need to consider is a lot of people will go to a switch grip. So that just means turning one of your hands upside down. Now, Jess has that mobility right now. I used to, currently I do not. So I actually can't externally rotate my shoulder enough to get into that position, which leaves our biceps and our shoulders at real risk of injury throughout this lift. So if you are starting to get strong, running out of grip, and you do need to go to that switch grip, really consider, do I have the passive range to get into that position before you start loading it on a heavy barbell? If you tick all those boxes and that all sounds good and it works for you, then we're clear to head out on the gym floor and start deadlifting.